Would everyone stand, please? Sergeant at Arms. Proper one, hand salute. Other people with their hands over their heart.
Arms. Ready, do. Left face. Forward march.
Would everyone give our Sea Cadets a big hand, please? Chaplain, would you come forward? Uncover.
Almighty God, whose blessings are numberless and whose power is infinite, we are grateful for the rich heritage that is ours in this nation of free people. May we be honest and open in all our dealings as we seek to serve you, our comrades in this community. May the endeavors we undertake and support inspire a love of this nation, a desire that we continue a strong and resourceful people, and a deep respect for those who have paid the ultimate price for this freedom we enjoy. Please, Father, we also ask that you bless our first responders and citizens whose noble endeavors and sacrifice have protected and aided the citizens of this community. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Sergeant at Arms, would you lead us in the pledge?
Be proud to, Commander. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Good evening, everyone. My name is Charlie Wessinger. I'm the post commander. I want to welcome each and every one to our 20th Community Awards ceremony. 20 years we've been doing this every year. Some of you people may remember Earl Lee. I don't know, probably a few in here remember Earl Lee. We started with Earl when he's sheriff. And we continued on, and we growed and we growed and we growed till we tried to recognize all the important people in Douglas County and give them our appreciation for what they do for us. Before I turn the program over to another individual, I've got a few people that I'd like to recognize. In the American Legion, we have a family, what we call it, we work together and do things together. I want to recognize our president of the auxiliary, Ruth Corsi. I want to recognize Jay Martinez, our SAL commander. I believe we have all our junior auxiliary president here. Would you please stand? Jasmine. Jimmy Clayton, nickname Ghost, leading rider. These people are the people that make this American Legion work. And I'm very proud of them, and I'm proud to serve with them. I'd like to recognize a couple of guests we have. We have Mr. Charlie French with a red hat on. Charlie French, National Alternate Executive Committee. Charlie and I served together on a national level, and we represent the state of Georgia and the American Legion on a national level. Randy Goodman, our department junior vice, got the white hat. We have some thoughts and good things for Randy in the future, so you might be seeing him quite often. So anyway, I got our 5th District Commander. She's a member of our post, Mary Lepley. Some of the other guests we have will be part of the presentation, so they'll be introduced. But we have an individual that's joined with us. She's our public relations person. She's the one who put this program together. Has done an outstanding job. I want to invite her to come up, and she's going to be the MC for the program tonight, Romona Jones.
Glasses before beauty. Commander, thank you for that extraordinary introduction. American Legion Post 145 is delighted that you have joined us in recognizing and honoring the exceptional and distinguished employees of Douglas County. Our special recipients have set high standards in our community, and their accomplishments speak volumes as to why they are among the chosen few for receiving a community award tonight. The great Henry Ford once said, "Quality means doing it right when no one is looking." And it is evident that these recipients are doing it right when no one is looking. With no further ado, I will call the presenters up individually, and you will introduce your recipients and briefly tell us about their accomplishments. But before I do that, we have a special teen here tonight, and I would like to bring her up. Her name is Jasmine Warren, and I'll tell you a little bit about her. Jasmine, could you come up? You and your mother, Nicole Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Warren knows how stressful military family life can be. Jasmine's father is currently serving in the Army in Afghanistan, and her family has lived in 5 states. She attends Douglas County High School, and also, despite her young age, Warren has started not 1, but 2 charities to aid military families. We know how devastating it can be when a military father is away. And a close family friend said that Jasmine, and also her mother said, she has raised $5,000 in efforts to a fund scholarship. In 2010, as an 8th grader at Chapel Hill Middle School, Warren was one of the 4 national winners of our Military Kid of the Year award. She was flown to Washington, D.C. to be honored. Recently, the award committee checked in with her again and was so impressed with her, they decided that she will be flown to the Capitol again to be recognized, the Capitol in Washington, D.C. She is also a Beta Club member, she's an art club member, and a Model United States Nationals, and among many other groups at Douglas County High School. And I would like to give her mother an opportunity to say some special words about Jasmine, because who knows her better than her mother? Nicole, come up, please.
Well, first of all, good evening. Dr. Scott was actually supposed to present her, who is the principal at Douglas County High School. Chief Womack and myself was in a meeting earlier today, so he was like, I have another meeting. I'm like, I'm arranged to get here so she can be honored at the American Legion. But what I do would like to say in regards to my daughter, you know, military life can be stressful, speaking from a wife's point of view. So if it's stressful on a wife, it definitely can be stressful on your child. And my child is a 4.0 student. My husband is on his 3rd deployment in Afghanistan. And the second deployment, he lost someone who was close to him. So my daughter's like, Mom, I need to do even more again, because that was my dad's best friend. So she was like, let's do a charity, and I want to fund the scholarships when the students go off to college. You know, we'll give them the cashier's check now, however they want to handle it, but it's for the further their education. So I was like, okay, sure, we can do this. So basically it started on the back of Mom and Dad, you know, Mom and Dad funding, but it was a great idea. And as she did that, you know, we went out to the community, they started donating. And with that being said, she continued to go on, as well as continuing to maintain her grade point average. Well, not only has she continued to do that and raise funds, the military kid in DC called a month ago and wanted to know how Jasmine was doing, and they had heard some great things about her. And the first question they wanted to ask was, is it true Jasmine was accepted at Johns Hopkins for the National Student Leadership for this summer? And I was like, yes, I have the letter here. She will be at Johns Hopkins this summer for the National Student Leadership. So not only has Jasmine continued to help other students, she's a mentor at Douglas County High School. And, you know, Dr. Scott says great things. He called me when Ms. Jones called on Wednesday. You know, Ms. Warren, can you call her, please? I'm tied up. And I was like, sure. And I called Ms. Jones, and she was like, we just want to honor your daughter. But without saying anything else, I definitely want to tell my daughter how proud me and her father are of her, because she not only thinks about herself, she thinks about other kids in the process. And to me, that goes a long ways. So with that being said, I would like to say congratulations, and we love you.
Jasmine, the 20th Annual Douglas County Teen, you are receiving the 20th Annual Douglas County Teen Humanitarian Award of the Year. And it is presented to you, Jasmine Warren, by the Frank P. Doris American Legion Post 145 on this 27th day of April 2012. We thank you, and we're so proud of you, and keep the good work up.
We're doing a photo shoot.
Big smile. Thank you.
Again, I would like to reiterate, I will call the presenters up and give you an opportunity to speak volumes about your extraordinary employees. And I will start, first of all, with Douglas County Employee of the Year. Would like Eric Linton to come up and present his award.
All right. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I had the honor of getting this award last year for as the Douglas County Board of Commissioners Employee of the Year. And last year the weather was a little different. Last year we had if y'all remember, violent storms were going on last year, so we're blessed with much better weather so far this evening. The person that I'm introducing tonight, I've known personally for the past 12 years. She came to work for the Douglas County Board of Commissioners in the summer of 1997. For the next 10 years, she rose quickly in accomplishments and positions. In 2001, she became the senior accountant and was quickly promoted 2 years later to the position of budget officer. In 2006, she accepted her current position as finance director. And in 2008, she successfully completed the examination process to become a certified public finance officer. And we're very fortunate to have that certification for our finance director position in the county, I will have to say. During her time in finance, she has been a key contributor to the department, winning 2 awards For 13 years, the Finance Department has received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association, what we call GFOA. And in 2003, they submitted for the first time the county's comprehensive annual financial report to GFOA, Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting Program. All that being said, the county has received this award for 8 consecutive years. Douglas County is one of only 31 counties in Georgia to receive this award. So the 159 counties in Georgia, that speaks volumes right there for the department and for this individual. In addition to the day-to-day operations in the capacity of finance director, Jennifer has served on a number of committees. Some are short-term, such as being a member of the audit firm selection committee and the committee to select and implement the software that brought the county's financial operations up with today's technology. Standing committees have thrived with Jennifer being part of them. She currently serves on the Finance Committee and the county's Employee Benefits Committee, in which she chairs. Jennifer was born in Douglas County to Wayne, part of the Douglas County Sheriff's Department, and Kathy Garrett. She is a 1993 graduate of Douglas County High School and a 1997 graduate of West Georgia College, in which she graduated cum laude with a Bachelor's of Business Administration and Finance. In April of 1999, Jennifer married her high school sweetheart, Chad Hallman, who's here with us tonight as well, and he works for the Douglas County Parks and Recreation Department. And in 2006, they became the proud parents of Ashlyn Brooke Hallman. And it is with great pleasure that I present Jennifer Hallman with the Douglas County Board of Commissioners Employee of the Year. Jennifer, come on up.
Our next employer is Douglasville, Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority. We have Chip Butts here to present tonight.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce Ray Fomby as the Water and Sewer Authority's Employee of the Year for 2011. This year was an exciting year at WSA, and Ray played a pivotal role in a lot of the things that we've done. Just to name a few things, in April of last year, Ray was the construction manager when we started construction on the rehabilitation of our Blair's Bridge pump station. This was probably the largest in-house project that we've ever done, and it was also on a very tight schedule. It included replacing all the pumps and motors, reworking piping, and replacing outdated electrical gear. And Ray and his crews did a superb job and finished the job on time. During the project, Ray personally worked on many of his scheduled off days to ensure the project continued to stay on schedule and that the work was completed correctly. In September, some of you may have heard about this, many of you probably didn't, but in September the authority's raw water line broke beneath the reservoir. This pipe is the only raw water feed to the water plant and is essential for providing water to the residents of Douglas County. After discovering that it would take weeks to complete the repairs, the authority brought in emergency pumps to supply water to the plant. Ray was our go-to guy for getting these pumps installed and running as quickly as possible. The raw water line failed on Friday night. The emergency pumps were delivered on Monday afternoon, and by Wednesday morning they were up and running. Ray's knowledge, experience, and leadership were essential in getting this done and saved the authority thousands of dollars. Finally, Ray is now leading the construction department in installing new water meters throughout the county as part of a meter replacement project. This is about a 6-year project that will replace all the meters throughout the county. Ray's leadership abilities and skills in providing outstanding customer service make him the ideal person to lead this project. For me personally, Ray is really a go-to guy who I know I can always count on to step up and take on new challenges and do them well. I know that if he's taking something on, that it's going to be done right, and that I don't need to worry about it. And that's a really big plus for me, and I really appreciate it. So, Ray, please come on up. Ray's leadership, customer service excellence, support for the authority employees, and willingness to go above and beyond the call of duty are why he was chosen as WSA's Employee of the Year. Congratulations.
See, guys, I didn't even have to pose then.
Next, we have the Douglas County Sheriff Department, Stan Copeland, now I have to put glasses on, that's amazing, our Chief Deputy, Stan Copeland.
Well, I want to thank, first of all, the American Legion. What a wonderful meal again. Thank y'all very much. These 20 years, you know, if you wanted to get police officers and deputies and firefighters here, that'll do it. So, but we appreciate it so much to be honored for these last 20 years. It's especially an organization like the American Legion, which is a service organization, bar none. So to be honored by your group is an honor for all of us. So the American Legion each year allows us to have 3 awards. One is our Civilian of the Year, our Correctional Officer of the Year, and then our Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. So I want to start off with our Civilian. A lot of times folks in law enforcement and corrections, they get all the accolades. Things happen. They get to do things that get in the newspaper and get all that's happening around, but yet our civilian employees, who are the backbone up there, you know, don't get recognized like they should. But this year we had a person who is we'd consider one of our main people at the office, because he is in our computer information services. And for those of y'all in any type of business now, you understand what we're talking about. If your email goes down, if your computer goes down, if your printer quits working, life stops. And it's the same way at the sheriff's office. Our computer system there is massive. Right now we have approximately 300 computers and 150 printers, not including our special fingerprint ID systems, our forensic computers. Our radio system is backed by computer, and our telephone system is backed by computer. So this particular gentleman has been with us 5 years, and you call him, they're on call in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and we say, Stephen, we've got a problem up here in radio. Our computer crashed. You know, need you up here right away. I'll be right there. He doesn't have much of a life, but he's up there with us all the time. And you see a smile on his face, you see him, and he's taught us so much. He's young, he's aggressive, he loves his work, and he does it so well. Stephen Whitaker, would you come up? While he's on his way up here, I think it was a surprise. He was talking about he was in Las Vegas last week and all the money he won, so I don't know what we'll do. So,
Thank you, sir.
We're not gonna let you say anything. Our second award tonight is our Corrections Officer of the Year. He gets to go to the jail each day, which most of us try to avoid. But he gets to go in and look at 750 smiling faces who are not there for praying in church too loud. They are, and he has to keep these people or help keep these people under control. I can tell you just from being a jail administrator for 7 years and working under 3 different sheriffs, that working in that jail and dealing with the inmates on a day-to-day basis is one of the most thankless jobs there is. They work so hard, and it's 24/7, 365. And this particular officer that we have not only does that, but he goes much beyond that. He has taken upon his own to also go to our academy and get his teaching certificate through POST, which is our peace officers. In the last 3 or 4 years, they crave his expertise at the academy to teach other officers how to handle situations inside the jail. Also, I want to tell you about a new program which he was instrumental, he and another investigator we have, called our MACE program. I know most of you probably heard of something called Scared Straight. We are in the early stages. It's called Making a Change Early. Making a Change Early. We are bringing, hopefully, at-risk youth into the jail, and along with some volunteer inmates and along with people like this officer here, we carry them through the jail and we show them what life is like if you take the wrong path. And we are on in fact, our 5th class was this morning. And it so far has been a tremendous success. So these people take their jobs very seriously and they work so hard. And I want to call up Sergeant Brian Wood. Surprised you, didn't it?
Just a little. I guess you knew about this the last 4 days too, Chief?
Yes. We've been at the American Jail Association seminar out on the West Coast for the last 5 days, so learning how to deal more effectively with inmates. So, and Brian was with me, and I had to keep it quiet that whole week, so that's why we just flew back in yesterday. So, congratulations.
Did he mention the speech you have to give them?
No, we don't want him giving a speech.
Might take a while.
Our final presentation is our Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. Unfortunately, I sure do hate to talk good about him and him not here. He couldn't be here because of a personal issue. But I do want to real quickly tell you about him and also bring up something that I think everyone should know. Our recipient for Law Enforcement of the Year is Deputy David Whitehead. Deputy Whitehead is on our find unit. You will see, for those of y'all who ride down the interstate very much, and you see the black cars, that's our find unit. We're so proud of Deputy Whitehead, and I'll accept the award for him. I might give it to him, but we appreciate it. And Chief, I just want to tell you, that's a great group, and they do a great job with guys like this. Thank y'all very much.
Our next employer is the Douglas County EMT, and the presenter is Chief Scott Spencer.
And I too would like to add my thanks to the American Legion for all y'all do for the community, for this dinner y'all put on every year. It truly does mean a lot to each and every one of you first responders out here, and we do appreciate it. So thank y'all. So I'm going to talk about a lady in our fire department that, you know, we not only provide fire service, but we also provide emergency medical services, our ambulances. This lady, she is our EMS logistics officer. That's a real fancy name for somebody that makes sure we've got the stuff we need on our ambulances, the drugs we need on our ambulances, the medical equipment we need on our ambulances, and that all of it works right. She's the one that keeps all that stuff running for us. And without her, we could not provide the service that we do provide. So she is an integral part of our department. She's also a good friend. So I would ask Sharon Davis to come up and accept your award. Yes, really.
Thanks, Chief.
Since I'm the fire chief, I also get to do the firefighter of the year. Firefighter paramedic Paul North was nominated by his lieutenant, Lieutenant Dan Callan. Lieutenant Dan, yes. This is what Dan has to say about Paul. He's my right-hand man. He's a mentor to our crew. He approaches every day in each task with a professionalism that cannot be taught, only admired. He completes any task assigned to him and has a compassion for all those that we serve. He never complains about being reassigned to any piece of apparatus that he may be assigned to. He always has a smile on his face, and Paul is a great example of how all employees should strive to conduct themselves. Paul, come on up.
Next, we'll have Sergeant First Class James Warren come up for the Georgia State Patrol. Georgia State Patrol, please come up.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I didn't realize I was going to have to give a big speech, so my notes are written on a napkin here, so hope y'all don't mind. I'd like to thank, like everyone else, the American Legion for having us here tonight, and we just took time out of our schedules to come over so I can introduce an employee of mine who goes beyond and above the call of duty every day. I met John Hutchenson approximately 2 years ago when I was assigned to Post 4 Villa Rica. From the Atlanta area, and I was a buck sergeant then and got promoted to post commander, and which I'm the post commander there now. And John He's listed as a TFC, but however, John's a senior trooper. He's been on the road almost 12 years. He started in the department in 1999 as a radio operator and moved up through the ranks of trooper to TFC, from trooper to trooper first class, and then to senior trooper. He's one of the older guys at the post, and I say older guys, he's young, but he's been around, he knows what to do. He's one of my go-to guys as far as being responsible and calling on John to overtake tasks that sometimes it's hard for us as NCOs or supervisors to do. Out of last year, 335 DUI arrests were made at Post 4 by various troopers, and John made 44 of those DUI arrests. So he's a member of the HIT team, High Intensity Traffic Team, out of Troop D, which covers Post 4 all the way down to LaGrange, Post 4, Villarica, Manchester, Noonan, and he's a part of that team which goes once every month to go on a strike, and they go on different locations and different sobriety checks and different road checks throughout the western Georgia area. He's been the recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation Award. John is an FTO, a field training officer. John is my liaison for the Western Regional Traffic Enforcement Network that we have. A lot of agencies here in this area: Douglas County Sheriff's Office, Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Villarica PD, all these agencies. John, I assigned him as my liaison, and I lead into that by saying, John, if I need to know anything, not being from this area, I can go to John, and John usually pretty much knows the answer or knows who I can get in contact with. One thing that we need in our daily lives as law enforcement officers, not only a comrade like John, but we need the Lord Jesus Christ in our lives. And John, I'm proud to say, about a month or so ago, heard his calling to preach as well. So I just want to add that in there. This is the last note, but with great pleasure, I introduce you John Hutchenson.
Next, we have the Georgia Department of Veterans Service. Dan Cravey is the director presenting tonight.
Thank you. Everyone said that Pat Phillips is supposed to be here to get an award tonight, but for some reason he didn't make it. That's probably because Mike Noles is the one receiving the award, and Mike stepped into the Department Service Officer's position a couple of years ago. He's doing a great job. He's really a proud Legionnaire that wears his white hat proudly. Mike, come on up.
This is so much fun seeing everyone surprised tonight. You have one more? Okay.
This was added. We also have the State Service Officer for the VFWs here tonight. He also wants to present Mike with an award. Mr. Joel Willis.
First of all, let me let everybody know I am a Legionnaire also. But it is a distinct honor to bring Mike up here, because one of the things about service officers' business is because we take care of everyone sitting here. We take care of not only the veterans, but their families. We take care of their loved ones and anybody who have any type of involvement with family. The reason this is the first time the Veterans of Foreign Wars has actually came to an event where they're presenting a token of our sincere appreciation to American Legion service officer. That's because Mike takes every day he lives taking care of veterans and their families. Every day he epitomized what it is being a service officer. Sometimes he gets on my nerves, but anyway, he does, because he said, well, Joe, what's going on with them? He lives it. And what we do as Veterans Forum Awards, we always have given the award or presentations as somebody we epitomize as taking care of veterans and their families. And this is just a shirt, although he wasn't in the military, he was in the Air Force. And, okay. This is a shirt that signifies that he served in the military, he served in the Air Force. But more importantly, this says that he served and he's continually serving every day. And it's a distinct honor to give this to my friend, Mike Noles.
I've been punked twice.
Yes. Our next presenter is Mayor Harvey Persons from the city of Douglasville.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Legion also for hosting this event and the people that put together the dinner. It was very good, and thank you very much. But also, if I can take just a minute, I'd like to thank not only the Legion, but the people that are members of the Legion and their service to our great country and what you've done to serve. And it's not only the Legion, and we are recognizing the Employee of the Year from our different entities, but there's a lot of employees that are here and their families, and your continued service to our great city and great county. You're the ones that help make it the city and the county that it is. And I'm truly humbled and privileged to be able to get up here and recognize not only Douglasville Citizen of the Year, but I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do to make our county and our city the county and the city that it is to live in. And I'm honored to get up here tonight, and thank you for that. So I'd like to give each and every one of you an applause, too. Thank you. I've heard a couple of comments tonight already about that some of the people didn't know that they were being recognized. Well, it's not a surprise to the Douglasville City Employee of the Year because he was on vacation this week, and we talked about it, and we were afraid that if we didn't let him know, he wouldn't be here. But let me tell you why he was on vacation. He was on vacation because if he didn't use it, he was going to lose it. This is the type of individual that he is. He just doesn't take all of his vacation. And I was talking to his wife, Janet, a little bit earlier, and she said she was about ready for him to go back to work. So. Let me read a couple of comments about our Employee of the Year. As Douglasville's new mayor, I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to introduce this year's City of Douglasville Employee of the Year. This always is a special recognition for someone other than our police department, who we're also very proud of, but we have an employee of the city that's going to be recognized also. When the city manager, Bill Osborne, pointed out to me that the mayor always chooses the city's Employee of the Year, I asked that the various department heads to obtain recommendations from their employees, because I wanted it to be the employee that their peers recognize for the job and the effort that they put forth. I didn't want to take and be the one that just picked who that employee was. So we had several individuals who were under their direct supervision that recommended that he be selected by me to be the city's Employee of the Year. In fact, the person that I selected received more recommendations from anyone else from their peers within the city of Douglasville. Bobby J. Willingham is a great example of how hard work and dedication can be instrumental in advancement in an organization. He's been an employee of the city of Douglasville for 19 years. Bob began working for the city in June 1993 as a laborer in our old street department. A year later, he was promoted to the position of equipment operator. And exactly 1 year later, he moved to the sanitation department and was promoted to the position of heavy equipment operator. Following a lateral shift back to the street department in July 1997 as a heavy equipment operator, by then this department was known as the city's maintenance department. Bobby served in this position for 4 years. Then in October 2001, he was promoted to crew chief. Bobby's biggest promotion came in September of 2006, and that was to his current job of maintenance supervisor in the city's Parks and Recreation Department. Now, when you visit the recently reconstructed, renovated Hunter Park, Davis Park, Fowler Field Park, or one of the smaller parks, in fact, all of our city parks except West Pines, and you see what great condition they're in, you'll know that Bobby Willingham and his crew are doing their jobs in a great way. On a personal level, Bobby and his wife Janet, who Bobby's very proud, I talked to him earlier, he's got his family with him. They've been married for 21 years, is that right? You've put up with Bobby for 21 years? They live in Hiram. They have their daughter Ashley with them tonight, who recently graduated from college. They have their son Wesley, who is a senior in high school, and Bobby wanted to make sure that we remembered someone special. Got a big grin on his face. And that's their granddaughter, Adeline, who's 15 months old. Bobby's hobbies, other than the city parks, which I think that's his biggest hobby, are hunting, baseball, and softball. In closing, before I introduce Bobby, let me quote from two of the Parks Recreation directors for whom Bobby's worked. First, from the former director, Tracy Ivey, who many of you know. Speaking of Bobby, she wrote in her evaluation, Bobby takes pride in his work and his team's work, is loyal, enjoyable, dedicated, treats workers fairly, and expects a good day's work across the board. It is a pleasure to know and work with. The current Parks and Recreation Director, Bennett Oliver, said this week, speaking of Bobby, I've been working with Bobby for over 4 years, and one thing I appreciate about him is that he makes me look good, as he makes all of us look good. As the City Parks and Recreation Directors, Bobby doesn't have a 9-to-5 work ethic. As I told you earlier, we have to make him take vacation. But he works to get the job done attitude. His employees work hard for him because he is professional and fair. And the people that work for him also voted for him to be the Employee of the Year. Bennett said about 3 years ago when he was department's athletic director before his promotion, he volunteered to, I don't know if Bennett remembers this or not, but he volunteered to help cut some grass. And finally, after a little bit, Bobby went to him and said, Bennett, I can take care of this myself. I think Bennett had taken out maybe a fence or a post or two. But let me say this, and I've read some prepared remarks, and you're probably wondering, well, do I really know Bobby? And yes, I do know Bobby. I was with the city back many years ago, and 19 years ago when Bobby was hired as a laborer. So I know Bobby on a personal basis. So I saw what the employees said about Bobby, and knowing him personally, seeing him grow, seeing his dedication and his commitment to his job, his city, and his community, I was very proud to be able to pick Bobby Willingham as a City Employee of the Year. And with that, I'd like to ask Bobby to come up and accept the award.
The next presenter is Chief Chris Womack from Douglasville Police Department.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Post 145 one more time. I know everybody's been thanking them up here, but I tell you, for me, and talking about doing this 20 years, first off, I can't believe it's been a year since we've been here. Time just seems to be going by faster and faster. The days really seem to fly by. And this has really become kind of like a homecoming, to get here and be around folks that are more my friends, but what I consider to be my family up here at 145. And with my fellow co-workers across this county that I'm so proud to call my home and have been blessed with more than I imagined. Looking around, some of y'all knew me when I was going through school here, and all I can say is God is good, and you're saying, you got that right, Chris. You standing up there as chief of police. God is good. I feel so honored to be in the position I've been blessed with here, and I have such a great team of individuals surrounding the Douglasville Police Department. It makes my job a joy every day that I look forward to coming there. I have the opportunity tonight. That's one of the most fun things I get to do all year, is come down here and recognize 3 individuals who are star players for the team at the City Police Department. We're going to start out with our Civilian Employee of the Year. This employee, we've been together for a long time. She's been with the city 20 years. She's one of those employees that you ask her one time, and I know I didn't realize really important how she was in this organization until about the past 5 or 6 years, as I moved up in the rank structure and realized, trying to say how I can say this without getting myself, how political this job can be sometimes. And you have to produce a lot of numbers sometimes. You got a lot of people calling you, wanting to know the facts, wanting to know what you're doing. And this lady keeps me out of so much hot water. She's always able to pull the figures, stats off reports. The amount of reports that get written at the city of Douglasville is just tremendous. I'm not even going to begin to talk about the record retention and how long this lady has to keep things organized, not only for our team at the police department, but the DA's office and any other staff that needs to come and get with what we've got going on a day-to-day basis. But our Civilian Employee of the Year this year is Miss Sandy Shiner, and she's in charge of keeping up with the tremendous job of our records department. The group of ladies that work in there are just a joy. Every time I go in there, everybody's always smiling and laughing. And like I said, it's honestly, I feel like I'm working with my family every day. And that's how we try to do things. And hopefully they enjoyed as much as I enjoy being there with them. Sandy, please come on up and accept this award. You know, Sandy's one of those players, I guarantee you, she would probably rather be at the dentist than up here standing in front of everybody. She cares nothing about getting patted on the back. You don't have to stroke her. She just does her job right and does it right the first time every day. You know, looking around, and one thing we try to do at the City Police Department is we try to create a family environment. You know, we got JR's boy sitting over there with us, keeping us giggling. We try to do this because I can't thank you as I look out here and see each other's family members here tonight. Doing the job that we do, we can't do it without the love and support that y'all give us to be able to go and do that job every day. And I know a lot of times we come home dirty, and when I'm talking about coming home dirty, I'm not talking about greasy or mud on your clothes. Y'all know what I'm saying. And y'all have to deal with the stress and the pressure that we have to go through every day, and having to listen to us sometimes, being able just to give us a minute to catch our breath and unwind, and it is so important, the job that y'all play. And if I could just ask everybody to give your family members that's here tonight a hug and a hand clap for their support. I see Sue Ann's mom and daddy. You know, we always try to keep our family involved in everything, and that's important. Next person that we're going to talk about tonight is our Supervisor of the Year. And the way we do this with our Supervisor of the Year, first off, I'd like to mention with like Sandy, it's a peer selection. Everybody votes in the police department for our civilian employees, so it is actually selected by the peers, the co-workers. And to me, what greater honor could you have than your fellow co-worker saying, hey, you're the best we've got. So that's quite a tremendous pat on the back right there. But our next one, we're going to talk about our supervisor of the year. Now this one is a little different because it is selected with command staff. My upper command staff that we meet with, we go around the table and we make nominations with each other, and then we weigh out who is actually most deserving. And folks, it is so tough. We are so deep in talent at the police department. I've got so many gifted people that work there, so it's really tough to narrow this down sometimes. But this year, as most of y'all know, we've been joking, we've moved from the outhouse to the penthouse down there on Fairburn Road. And, we were in the armpit of law enforcement facilities for a long time. It really was. It was terrible conditions, but the taxpayers stepped up and took care of the police department. I can't thank y'all enough for that and how much it's meant for morale and the safety of our folks working there. But this person, this new state-of-the-art building we're in, we've got everything from video cameras to alarm systems to each person that came in there the day we moved in, each one of our 100 officers got laptop computers assigned to them. The heat and air is controlled by a computer, and we've got recently the police department within, like I'd say, the last probably 5 years was turned over to us to do our own IT. We had grown that big, and my city manager allowed us to get somebody trained up so that we could have somebody in-house with a law enforcement background to become our IT person. She also has a fellow co-worker, Joe Renzo, who's a civilian employee, does a great job. But I can stand here up in front of you with my fellow co-workers here and any of y'all that knows this individual that's been with us 19 years, I can say unequivocally the most intelligent employee at the city police department. Hands down. And the thing that I love about Amy so much is she can do it. You know how some people that just operating on that different plane and you're like, you talk to them and after about a minute you say, I obviously can't communicate with that person because they're so much smarter than me. Well, she doesn't do you like that. She's a great instructor. She's got all the patience in the world, and that makes a difference, especially in technology when she's trying to get some of us up to speed to learn some of the things we need to do to be more proficient at our job. And let me tell you what I love about Amy, too. When I say Amy, I'm referring to Sergeant Belcher, our supervisor of the year, is she is a police officer first. I guarantee you, there's probably some in this room, but she's laid some yellow ribbons on in this room in her day because she has slapped some paper out there when she was in a traffic car, writing some tickets out there. But with Amy, what she does now, she doesn't just get wrapped up in her IT world. She constantly is listening to that radio, and she gives us information from her desk on who we're looking for. When she hears a call go out, she can give us photographs, addresses, last known acquaintances, and putting pictures up on people's mobile stations in their car. And it's just phenomenal how her first true love is putting bad guys in jail. And that means so much to have an IT person with that background, that job. I could stand up here and talk about her the rest of the night because I tell you what, I've got the utmost respect for what she does and the way she does her job. But our supervisor of the year is Sergeant Amy Belcher.
You don't ever do that, do you?
Never.
Last but definitely not least, this devil dog was in the military because he's a Marine. Hoorah! Rob has been with us about 5 years. Been deployed. He's been to Iraq, been to Afghanistan. He's one of those guys that, first off, when you meet him, all you got to do is be around him about 30 seconds, and you know, if you've been in the military, you know he's a Marine. He carries himself that way. He's squared away. He's very professional. He's a pleasure to work around. And he's just a hard charger. He's one of them people that's always, regardless of what we got going on at the police department, he's like, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball. I want the ball. Let me show you what I can do. He's one of our traffic guys right now. Now, I'll be honest with you, there's some jobs I never got to do in the police department, but riding that motorcycle was never one I cared to do. And I've got a lot of respect for those guys that get out there. You know, it's probably nice riding weather about 60 days out of the year. The rest of the time it's probably stinking. to be out there strapped on that Harley Davidson. They may look cool, but they're suffering. Rob Lane's our Officer of the Year. He's been with us 5 years now. And like I said, he's a dedicated individual. Every time you're around him, he makes his presence known. I get so many positive compliments on this officer about people that have gotten tickets from him. I've had people call me up and say, you know, Chief, it made getting that ticket a little easier because of the way your officer dealt with me. And you know, that's a great call to get in my position, because a lot of times it's not that. I'm surprised we have anybody that's ever speeded, because most everybody says I've never, you know, it wasn't me, it's the person behind me. But I get a lot of positive comments about Rob's performance. His supervisors are always saying what an asset he is to their team. And like I said, he comes to work eager, ready to do his job every day, and that's all you can ask for from a guy, somebody that's always looking for an opportunity to make us look good, and he does that every day. Officer Rob Lane, come on up.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, between he and I both, we're probably killing you. You probably don't need the flash. Say a couple words, right? I want you to
I guess I am special. To my American Legion Rider family, they wouldn't let me wear my leathers, I'm sorry. Everyone out there, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that I work with, state troopers, you know, the fire department, Douglas County Sheriff's Office, everyone that I work with. I couldn't do my job without you guys, Sergeant Loudermilk and the motor team. You guys make coming to work fun. And my last little warning is I'm going home the same time all y'all are. You know, in closing, I do got a little closing remark I want to make, and one is directed. I know everybody saw Sheriff. He was in here earlier. I know one of those nights we're double booked. We've got the Relay for Life going on out at Deer Lick tonight. Like I say, the Douglasville Police Department raised a little over $10,000. We're in first place right now. But you know, there's been a time since we've been in law enforcement here, or since my law enforcement career, where the relationship that we've got with our brothers down the street from us has not always been what it is. And ever since Phil Miller came into office, he made it a priority that we do work together. And folks, every citizen, every taxpayer in this county, I'm telling you, deserves nothing less than that. There's plenty out there to go around, I assure you. And it takes us out there working together and pulling together as a team to keep y'all safe. And I'm so proud of the relationship we've got right now. My good buddy, Scott Spencer, the fire chief back there, Kim Ransom, she's known me for I don't even know how long. But we work so good together with those guys, and I can't tell you what a joy it is. And I mean it. I'm so humbled. People that talk about where have all the heroes gone, well, let me tell you, folks, you don't have to look in this room right here because they're sitting all around you. My big brother sitting right back here, Gary Sparks, my deputy chief. He takes care of me. I tell you what, I trust the man with anything I've got. And he takes care of us. We got a lot of good things going on here in Douglasville. I've been very blessed to grow up here and raise my kids here, and I hope my kids decide to stay here with all of us. Thank y'all.
Last but not least, we have Sylvester Rick here representing, she's the Assistant Superintendent of the Douglas County School Board, and she's here to present tonight as well.
Good evening. We're just going to assume that they saved the best for last. All right? You know, Chief Womack and I have a little competition thing going on. And I was at another affair, and he stood up and bragged on his basketball team. And then he met the Douglas County Schools Shooting Stars. And even though we're in this very hallowed institution, I will say we whipped his butt. And tonight we're leading in second place at the Relay for Life by a little over $6,000. But our hats go off to Chief Womack for his effort with the over $10,000 in Relay for Life. I want to begin by saying that in Douglas County Schools, we have an outstanding number of excellent teachers. So when we were invited tonight, it was a very difficult task for us to choose who we would recognize. Tonight we have recognized 2 of our outstanding teachers that we will honor. These teachers have been honored already on the state level, and so we are very proud of them. These teachers are to be commended for representing our community in all that they do. All of us know the importance of teachers in schools. All of us have had the experience of having a teacher, and we are so proud of them tonight. We are also proud of them for the recognition that they bring not only to our school system, but to our entire county. And tonight we're going to begin with Mrs. Kristen Johnson, who is a teacher at Chapel Hill High School. Kristen was recognized as the Economics Teacher of the Year for Douglas County Schools last year and went on to become the 2011 Georgia State Economics Teacher of the Year. We are so proud of her and her accomplishments. She is accompanied tonight by her husband and son. If they would stand while we recognize Kristen. Wait, son is coming. Wait. That's our future. He had to be on this picture, don't you think? All right. Our second recognition is Mrs. Jasmine Dukes, who is a reading teacher at Stewart Middle School. Mrs. Dukes, come on and join me. This year, Mrs. Dukes became this year's Douglas County Teacher of the Year. The competition is very fierce. We have competitors from each one of our schools. They are visited by the superintendent. They also have to perform a teaching lesson while being visited by a number of observers. So it can be a little nerve-wracking to get to this point. Recently, last month in fact, Jasmine was selected as one of 10 out of 150 Georgia State finalists for the Georgia Teacher of the Year. She will have her final competition on June 1st down at the Georgia Aquarium, and we are wishing her well and looking for her to bring home to Douglas County the gold. So we are so excited about that. And at this time, Jasmine Dukes, our Teacher of the Year. Again, of course, on a personal note, I want to take a moment and say that I'm going to have to come and visit the Legionnaires of 145 more often. I am the child of a World War II veteran who was also in the Korean conflict. I am married to a Marine who is a Vietnam veteran. So I feel right at home, and I'll be coming to visit again. Thank you.
give all our recipients a round of applause, please. I must say, I really enjoyed serving as your mistress of ceremony. It's very, very difficult to keep a secret, so I hope everyone is excited and surprised about your awards, and I will turn it over to Commander Wessinger at this point. But again, thank you so much for allowing me to serve as your mistress of ceremony.
Did she do a great job?
Yes, sir.
Let's give her one more big hand. Before I get in deep trouble, my wife reminded me a few minutes ago I forgot something. So all the people that's involved in preparing the meal today, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Outstanding job. I'd like the Ryder family, would the Ryders please stand? The SL family, most of you are dual. The auxiliary. And Post 145 American Legion members, please stand. Thank you. It's been an outstanding night. Oh, by the way, anybody ever heard about the heat of the night?
Yes, sir.
He's back there. Stand. He started on the heat of the night. Pretty good. Mr. Alden, anything you say you want to say anything?
No.
Department Junior Vice, you have any comment? No. All right. Okay, everyone, we'll close. Would everyone stand, please? I asked our Legion chaplain to come forward. Uncover.
Would y'all please bow your heads? Let us go forth into the world in peace and dedication to your service, O Lord. Let us hold fast that which is good. Strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak. Help the needy and the afflicted. Honor all men. Let us love and serve the Lord, rejoicing in the power of his Spirit. And may God's blessing be upon us and remain with us always. Amen.
Amen. The one that has covers may cover. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We got. Sergeant Arms.
Yes, sir. God of thy country being in place by the numbers and salute. 1, 2.
That's the end of our program. Thank you for being with us tonight.